There we go. Okay, I'm back. I should be back. I got an ad, so I don't know if you guys can see. Can you hear me? Or no? No sound still? Okay. Okay, so you can't hear me now. Okay, perfect. I don't know what happened. I think my headphones made a weird noise, like they were disconnecting. So I don't know what happened because it was still on. It was still on and everything, so I wasn't sure. And I don't know what noises and stuff you guys can hear. I think you can hear everything because when I was listening to the audio back on my other headphones, I know you guys can hear the machines, and I know you can hear kind of David behind me. So we heard that too. Nice. That was David knocking over a bin. Yeah. Okay, so I got this one piece done, and now I have to build up underneath its tail. So it has a pretty long tail, so I'm gonna need a long piece to put underneath its tail. Hey Gross, how's it going? Welcome to Friday. Um, I know that Dave will likely be on next week, and it's probably going to be, I think, his last ReaperLand episode for a while, understandably. So he's going to come on, I think, do some money facts and stuff, and then kind of skedaddle. But we'll still keep doing it. I want to have a lot more people on as guests, like people around the factory. I want to walk around the factory more and hang out with everybody because I liked that stuff when we were doing it on the phone streams. Kind of the Reaper Land, the people of Reaper Land. I want to go to the game store, do some live streams from the game store. So yeah. Also, I kind of like doing this. Uh, yeah, Gross can come be a guest. I'm fine with that. I think that's a great idea. Hey, Gross, maybe you can come teach some woodworking stuff. That'd be cool. I would like to learn that. Community learn time. I know it's really not something you can do like mobilely, I guess. Something that you can like bring. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding material to areas that are going to need it, because you can't have these big like underlaying areas where basically what I'm trying to do is control the mold lines to where they make sense. I mean, in this stuff for Bones USA, you really don't see a lot of mold lines very too often. Sometimes you do, but it's very rare. So I'm trying to control the mold lines to where it's going into areas that aren't going to be that big of a deal to have mold lines. If that makes sense. It's just going to be pretty easy. Oh, that was a lot easier than I thought. Understandable. Yeah, it's gonna be fine though. Everybody around here has been pretty okay. Like I was really proud of Ron last night, and I talked to Ron after the Reaper Live last night because I knew as soon as Dave was starting to cry, I knew I was gonna go. I'm a big crier. I watch sad movies all the time, and I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And I knew as soon as I was gonna start talking, I was gonna go. So it was pretty hard for me. There was still more stuff I wanted to say, but it was just I couldn't. Um, yeah, I was like even now I'm starting to get a little teary eyed. But tomorrow's going to be a nice day. I think I heard Ron tell me that it might rain tomorrow. I still got to find the live stream stuff for it and post. I will likely post that tonight. Right after this, I'll go find it and post that. But I think it might rain tomorrow, so that's going to be kind of sad. But so if you're coming tomorrow, I would bring an umbrella. It is definitely going to be interesting. I know they didn't really talk about it, but I saw some questions about who's going to take Ed's place and who's the new president and who's the new CEO and all that stuff. And that's still being worked out and talked about. But Ron is now our COO. He's our chief operating officer. Um, and basically, all of Ed's responsibilities that he had is being split between Dave and Ron at the moment, and so they're handling things like answering emails and finishing projects and things like that. So yeah. So right now we don't really have a CEO. It's kind of like a community thing or like a group thing right now. Yeah. And I've personally only ever been to one funeral in my life, and that was my grandma in 2012. So 10 years ago, and that was the only funeral I've ever attended or been to. So you know I know it's going to be rough because when Ed was in the hospital, I know that Ron went and visited him a lot, and Cindy, a lot of people went and visited him. Justin went and saw him a few times, but I didn't really go visit him in the hospital because I just was too scared. I think I would have. I didn't want to see him like that because the last time I saw him, he was like in person. The last time I saw him, I wanted to have that memory of him because I knew he was in the ICU, and I knew he was knocked out and all that stuff, and I didn't really want to see him like that. So that's partly why I didn't go see him in the hospital, and so that's that's why I didn't go. And I know tomorrow's going to be rough because it is open casket, I believe. So seeing him one last time like that is going to be it will be hard, but it's going to also be a chance to say goodbye and all that stuff. So like a formal see you later. So I know Ron has a speech prepared. I don't know who else is talking. Um, I'm sure Dave will try to say something, obviously, of course. But I don't know who else is going to talk. I lost track with a number of funerals and memorials back in the 80s. One word of advice: crying is never wrong. Oh yeah, I know that. Oh, I plan to. I'm going to. I Last night was the first night that I really cried. Like I haven't really cried, you know, about Edward, until last night. I got teary eyed a few times thinking about it, what I would say or what I thought and things like that. But last night was the first night that I actually like cried. And tomorrow's going to be a big day of that, I think, which is totally fine. It doesn't hurt me or anything. But so yeah, I mean mold making is kind of tedious, but I love it, you know, because it's just problem solving. It's like, hey John, this thing happened to this model. What can we do to make that not happen? Or can we make this model work in the shape that it's in? Or like, do we have to make changes? I personally don't like to tell the sculptors or tell Kevin like, hey, I can't make the mold if the model's like this. So I try to make as many ideas and plans as I can to make that work, to make the mold work without having to change what the artist has done. Sometimes, things have to be a little bit thicker. For example, like sleeves or capes or things like that. Sometimes the capes and stuff are a little bit too thin. Like, and when I say thin, like the edges are really thin. They go to a really sharp point, and sometimes that point is it's just the mold is way too close, and the material can't get in that little section. So sometimes we have to green stuff, or before the things get 3D printed, that we have to make things a little bit thicker. You know, and I say a little bit. It's not much. It's just things have to be a little bit thicker sometimes. like a big pain in the butt right now is the Santa. Did anybody get into the Santa in chat? The Christmas sampler Santa? He's a badass. I love that sculpt, but he has a few problem areas on him. That's kind of a hard thing for him. In particular, if you're looking at it in between the staff. Um, so in between his staff, he has the snowflake in the middle of his staff, and that snowflake has those little tiny spaces in between each of the snowflake branches. And man, that is a hard thing to fix. when there's a tight gap like that, and how thick it is, that's hard to get right, like in mold making. Mine is on the way. Wishing I had paid the extra $10 for priority. Yeah. That we found a bug in the system that not many people experienced. It got fixed right away, but over the weekend, somebody in Kentucky contacted me and said, "Hey, my shipping says that it's $60. Is that normal?" And I was like, "Oh no, that's way too high." So I did a bunch of investigations to try to figure out what was causing that. And one of the new items, the bundle, the mystery cup bundle, had a weird weight inputted on the website, and the weight was causing the shipping to like be astronomical. So it should not have been that expensive. So I got that fixed, and I believe I think that was the first person that kind of experienced it. I hope. If anybody in chat experienced that, let me know. Because I tried to go back and look at it at any orders that happened to and tried to contact them, but I couldn't find any. So I think I got it fixed right when it first came out. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, green users. Most of the sculptors would like the input. I agree. That's why I'm glad you and Julie came over when you guys were last here. Christine Van Patten came over when she was here to talk to me about mold making. Next time I think next time the sculptors are in town, we should sit down and have like a little powwow. That'd be nice. A little powwow. Yeah, a little powwow. Because there are things to kind of think about. Because I've had some issues with models, particularly I understand why. Because recently we started going back and we're changing some of the old metal and some of the old like original bones over to Bones USA, and those were 3D sculpts that were made for the Bones Classic process and those types of molds, and so they were sculpted with that in mind, and some of those things do not work easily. They don't work easily over here in Bones USA world in this type of mold making. So that's why. That's all. It's nothing. I don't blame anybody. It's just those were made for a different process. Lots of patience. Oh, X-Acto knife. Yeah, for the Santa. Oh, it's just so satisfying to like get this. I don't know if you can. So you can see right here on this tail. Yeah, this tail right here. I got this built up right along this tail line here for this mold, because if it didn't, you can see, oh, there's all this negative space. Like if I go and press this down in here, I press this down, there's all this negative space right here. See, my little tool goes all the way underneath, but I can't do that on this one. There's rubber in the way, so I've built up the rubber all the way over here. Aries gal, just saw ReaperLand from yesterday. Oh, ReaperLive, you mean? Let me make sure we're in kind of wide mode here. White people happy. It's Friday. Oh, chat. I got my tickets for Avatar next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. Is anybody excited for Avatar? I know it's probably 10 years too late, but still going to see it. How many pours? Quite a bit. I don't know the exact number. It also depends on how popular and how. Like, if I don't build this mold correctly, it's going to last significantly less. That's why I spend a little bit of time building these, because if you don't build them correctly the first time, like let's say you go to open it and it tears out immediately, that's not going to be good. So, for instance, this is the lizard mold, the old one, and you can see right here. You see how this one has blue, this one has blue, this one has blue, all the way around, but this one tore out on the first open of it, and so this mold is down one. So now I'm only getting 7. Yeah, I'm only getting 7 out of it. But this mold was already bad to begin with, so like I said, this was one of the first ones I ever made. So, so we'll see. So now I'm trying to make it better. So it all depends on how popular it is, or like for instance, this guy's new, this guy behind me, and when he goes to open the molds here, see he's back there opening the molds, and sometimes if you open the molds wrong, it'll tear them out pretty easily. So like if you're just really aggressive and you kind of rip them open, or you like bend them really far, things like that, this material is kind of really sensitive, so it can cause problems. Hi, Roger. What's up? I'm just fixing this lizard mold. I know it sucks that you guys can't really see what I'm doing. Um, let me zoom in for a second while I'm talking. So this right here, I don't know if Bob and Julie, if you're listening, I don't know if do you ever use this tool? This one right here, this little tool. This thing is so cool for me. I love it. This thing is really nice. This little kind of cylinder tool here, and it's because I can just scrape away the material. Like for instance, if you see here, if I just take this and I can like dig out little pockets. Oh, it's so nice. Oh, it's so nice. These are little what are these? These are monitor lizards, I would say. I believe is what they are. Monitor lizards. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm shaving away material that I need to take away. And so this is kind of what I've started doing as a first test, or first kind of step, is I get the model positioned where I'm going to press it. And so now I have a nice little cavity inside there. Don't use it when green sculpting. Yeah, that's what I thought, because it's much more of like a taking things away kind of tool, and not a pushing things and moving things where they need to go. Hey, Arc of Fire, what's up? Thanks for the raid. What were you guys doing on Arc of Fire? What were you doing today? So you can see, I guess now that, let me move this out of the way. So I'm putting an extra piece of putty in between this, not putty, but the mold material underneath this little monitor lizard's, underneath his little arm here. And so that way I can position it and kind of move it into place where I need it to go. So that's what I'm doing. Make sure that's right, and then now we'll go back to pressing. And we'll get out another one of these. I'll do like one of these. So now I got like got a nice little flat piece to go underneath his tail, right here, right underneath his tail, like that. You can see that little piece that I put underneath his tail. So whenever I press him down into place there, this little piece that was underneath his tail kind of rests. It kind of rests alongside that, and that's where that mold line's going to be. Friday night. Friday night. That's right. Anybody gonna go look at Christmas lights and stuff this Christmas? I used to do that a lot when I was younger as a kid. I haven't really. I've been a few times. There's a place out here in Texas called Santa Land that me and my friends like to go to, but it's kind of far, oh, like from where we are. It's kind of far, so it's like an hour and a half away from us. But it's nice. Also, Bob and Julie, this is one of the tools that I use all the time. I use this little bad boy. It's like the little flat paddle and this little kind of curved butcher scalpel blade. I use this tool all the time because I like this little paddle, this little kind of little smooth little paddle in my hands because I use it to kind of smooth out the rubber in certain areas to kind of make it nice and smooth and where it doesn't look as jagged and crispy and erratic. I kind of make it really nice and smooth because this helps the mold line stay nice and even. We use those, yeah, because Kevin brought me all these tools, and so I've been using them quite a bit. And so this is one of the ones that I use every day. This little paddle, scalpel looking butcher blade here. So now I'm kind of pressing and making sure all my mold lines are correct. Ta-da! Mold making 101. Hey, that'd be nice. I would like to like travel around the country and teach people how to make molds. That'd be nice. That sounds like a fun gig. You know what I mean? But you know what? Reaper has the best mold maker in the U.S. So that's what I'm talking about. There's nobody better than Mr. Overton. There we go. So we've done three. We've done three now. So I'm just going to go back and double check this. Kind of compact it down a little bit so it's kind of more tight. Because when you do press these, they have a little bit of squish and movement. So you don't want that to happen. You don't want the squish and the movement to go. Very humble mold maker. Yeah. Dude, one of the funniest things last night from that video was when Bob was on, and he's like, speaking of Gen Con, why were you watching me sleep? I love that. That clip is hilarious. Corporeal, yes, this is very much different than vulcanized rubber. It's like vulcanized silicone. So rubber is a lot more stiff. Silicone is way more unforgiving. Rubber, you can get away with some mess ups and things here and there, but and it lasts quite a bit longer. But silicone, you got to be a little bit more delicate with, because it is definitely a different beast. You gotta be a lot more delicate in your preparation. Black rubber, I could just squish this bad boy, and it would kind of fix itself and work itself out. But if I build this the wrong way, it's dead on arrival. As soon as they spin this the first time, it's gonna be like it's all gonna fall apart. So that's why you got to spend a little bit of time, kind of making sure your bases are covered here. Oh, this is a seal cast. Yeah, Bill, this is. Yeah. We're about halfway through at this moment. As soon as I finish this next monitor lizard, we will be halfway through building this particular mold here. Then I got to do some extra stuff to kind of prep it for cooking and all that stuff. So you can see here is I'm using my little scrapey tool to get rid of. Here, I'll zoom in again for you. Whee! So you can see here is kind of scraping away. Some of the rubber, just scraping it away, so it fits more nicely, and I can get a good angle of where this lizard's gonna sit inside of here. So I have a good idea of where he's gonna sit, and kind of sculpt around him. Take away material, add material. So we have this thing again. I love using this little baker leveler. This little leveler here. It's like I think you use this in baking, I believe. I like using it because it creates nice, clean, like lines when I need to cut a straight, like line like that. I like using it. Hey, darling, what's up? Oh, let me zoom out here. I want tattoos like you. I need to get more tattoos. I only have this right here. So, I have these bad boys. Got both of them on this leg as well. My Hermes tattoos. Only got those bad boys. Doing some painting and chilling? Nice. I'm doing some mold making here at work. Good old ReaperLand, the land of the Reapers. Does anybody here watch K-dramas? I know I've talked about this before, but I don't know if there's any K-drama fans in chat. Yeah, I got these whenever I was running a lot, when I used to run quite a bit. And I lost a bunch of weight back then. So I got them to commemorate that, and then I obviously gained a bunch of weight back, which is okay. I'll come to terms with it. Fat and happy. Those are my acro yoga parkour days, my acro yoga performing days. And then I retired and started doing Reaper full time. So how much time does it take to complete one mold on average? Well, on average, I can do 4 to 5 a day on average. 4 to 5. So if that's an 8-hour workday, 7-hour workday. So what is that? About 2 hours a mold, roughly. It also depends, like I said. Some molds are really complicated. Some molds aren't. So there's some days where I can, if they're all simple, I could probably make 8. So it just depends on if they're very simple or not. So that's all. Sweet ink. Bread dough cutter? Yeah, this is. I know. Like I see this when they use this when they're making, after they knead it and everything, and after they prove the bread, they use this to break them into smaller sections. So hey, I watch British Bake Off. British Bake Off's lit. Me and my girlfriend watch it every Sunday when there's a new season out. We've seen every season. What was I doing? Oh yeah, getting some extras here. Yeah, it takes me about, I can do like 4 molds a day. So what is that on average? 20 molds a week on average. Some days are more, some days are, sometimes less, but it's normally not less because I am pretty quick when it comes to mold making, but that's the average, I would say. Hey Bryce, what's up, buddy? I can't wait till ReaperCon. Dude, Bryce is one of my favorite people to see at ReaperCon. Bryce is such a nice guy. Bryce, what do you do in your real life? You don't have to say that. Like other than painting, like what's your occupation? I never asked you what your occupation was. I don't know what you do. My guess is like something in hospitality, right? It has to be. You're such a nice guy. What you be like? Are you like a doctor? Darling, what do you do besides stream? Like, I know, don't you have a bunch of kids and a husband and all that stuff too? Speaking of work, Graz, are you still in the chat? One of your offices, I think, over there by my house, it's not there anymore. The Blackbeard, it looked like the sign above the door got like it's gone. So I didn't know. Moist Halden. Hey, you gave me a tour. I did. Do you know when? I might remember you. Did I say anything funny on the tour? I give a lot of tours, and normally I can remember them by faces, but names are, they're not the same for me. Hope the head being gone doesn't mean ReaperCon go away. No, to my knowledge, I don't think so. Does it say red rum? Yes, it does. It does. Um, I'll answer that second, and I'll answer that question in a second, Valentar. There you go. There he goes. Wait, why isn't it zooming? Ah, there we go. Yes, it does say red rum right there. You know who did that? You know who did that? Ed did that. Ed did that. So there you go. I was the sexy-eyed bald guy. You would remember me because I am so humble. Yeah. Mechanical engineer. I knew you were smart. I knew you were smart. It does say red rum back there. No kids, just dogs. Oh, I guess whenever you were mentioning something about children, I think you probably meant your fur babies. Oh, you're a bartender. That's sick. My friend's a bartender. I watch flare videos all the time. What do bartenders think of flare? Like, I was in color guard for a long time, so I threw things in the air for a living, and I would see myself being a flare bartender. I just don't know. I don't know the bartending scene, so I don't know how different it is. I know that flare bartending is kind of looked at as more of like a sport and more of not like an actual bartending thing. You're a klutz? Yeah. Uh, yeah, color guard stuff. Yeah, I miss it. I thought about going back to teach color guard a few times. I thought about coming out of retirement to perform again, but that's going to be a commitment. We'll see. There's always a chance. We sold the Alliance stuff to a company called DGO, and so they got the lease on that office building too. Oh, nice. Okay, that's what I thought. I drove past there a few times since then, and I noticed that the sign above the door was gone. That's cool, Bryce. I didn't. Yeah, it's interesting because when I see people at ReaperCon, I don't know what they do outside of painting a lot of the times, like what they do in their day-to-day job life. Mechanical engineer, man. No wonder that explains why you're so kind of methodical. I guess that makes people that are kind of like have that kind of thinking brain about how to solve issues like an engineer. Uh, they're really good at problem solving, so they come up with like really nice, fancy things to kind of engineer. They have an idea in their head, and they come up with a way to engineer it. That's what I say. It goes back to that when you won that what was it? Was it a silver or gold medal? ReaperCon 2018, 2019, 2017. It's the one with the dancing. She's on the wooden poles. That was a great piece. Training day or training ground or I can't remember the name of it. Everything is such a blur. Hey, darling, you gonna come down for ReaperCon next year? Uh, Training day, best of show gold. That's what it was. Bill Robinson, yes. I am in charge of doing the points for RCL. I will try to get to that sometime next week to kind of get caught up. It's just kind of hard to do it every day, and I got a good method of doing it in one sitting. I get into like a flow. Trying to buy a house. Ooh, it's kind of hard right now. I just bought a house last year. Wait, was that last year? Did I move in? Did I really buy a house last year? Or was that? Yeah, the market's brutal right now. Yeah, we got in at 3.6% is what our APR is. We got in like right when they were starting to go back up. So we got in right at the right time. Yeah. Buying a house are you in Northeast United States, I think? I could be wrong. Normally I have a pretty good memory, but pretty good. I like where I live. I never thought I would ever buy a house, and that wouldn't have been possible without Reaper, of course, and Ed and Dave. Yeah, like I was trying to say last night before I started crying, was that they were kind of like dad, or they are like dads to me because I wasn't really close to my family. So, I would always go into Ed and Dave's office and I would talk to Ed about, since they're CPAs, I would talk to them about taxes because I was like, I don't know, I don't know how to do my taxes, and so they would teach me, or I don't know anything about buying a car or buying a house, and so they would talk to me and give me advice and how to do it. And like I said, my car would break down and Ed would, help me pay for it, and I would pay it off with my Reaper paycheck. Just take it out every week or every other week, and they would help me out whenever I had hard times and hard issues because I wasn't really I haven't been close to my family in a long time. Ever since my grandma died in like we were talking about earlier, 2012. Ah, Virginia. Julie entered the RCL. Oh no, Julie entered the quarterly contest. The quarterly contest. I did see her piece. I love it. uh, don't forget that the quarterly contest is still going, so don't forget about the quarterly contest. Isn't too bad out here. Oh, up in Virginia? Yeah, property's not too bad up there. That's nice. Does it get cold up there? Does it snow and stuff? I love snow, so I want to eventually live somewhere where there's snow. But I don't know. I heard Colorado is just kind of miserable to live in right now because there's so many people. It's kind of like the new Texas. There's just so many people moving there. All like everybody from California is moving to, Arizona, Colorado, and Texas. Those are kind of like where everybody's moving. It's kind of crazy world out there. One thing, like I always say, we moved right next door to uh, the Amazon fulfillment center. So like whenever we order from Amazon, it comes like right away. Valandar, no, you don't. I guess you're right. I probably don't want to live somewhere where there's snow. I kind of want to visit where there's snow so I can go skiing and stuff like that. Twice a year, but I'm born and raised from the Midwest, so it's okay. Yeah. My girlfriend's from the Midwest, so she's from Minnesota. She wants me to go up there next year on a big trip so she can show me like where she was born and all that stuff. We can go fishing and hang around up there. Being from Texas, I'm not much of a country boy. I grew up around horses and things like that, and my dad's a cattle like driver, but I was never really like into like riding horses and country and fishing and hunting and things like that. I've never really been into it, but I've been going with my girlfriend's dad recently, and we've been going fishing, and it's a good bonding experience to go with him because he's like, he's a Minnesotan. He's from Minnesota, so he's like all fishing and hunting, and he knows how to skin animals, and it's just something that I know nothing about and was never interested in. But it's a good way for us to kind of bond, and I think he likes it because my girlfriend, when she was young, that's what she did with him. She would go hunting and fishing, and she knows how to like clean fish, and I feel kind of not. I'm not from that world. It's not something that I ever did. But fishing is really relaxing. I've come to enjoy it. My brother bought me a fishing pole for for my birthday. Fishing, or no, what does Valentine say? Snow is the planet's way of telling you you're too far north. Hey David, did you see last night on the memorial to Ed the video?
I didn't
At,
because I had to leave straight from here to go
yeah, at the
celebrate
at the
Christmas.
very end, it was the jazz hands clip where he's like, "Take care, good night, jazz hands." That was the last clip of the video, and Lauren's in it. She's right next
Oh,
to him and Ron, and they go jazz hands, and then it fades to black. So I just didn't. I figured Lauren would like to know.
I'll have to show it to her later.
Justin's gonna upload it to YouTube by itself in its entirety. So heat is the planet telling you you're too far south, or you're at the equator and whatnot. Oh man, it's the end of the year. You gotta buy Christmas presents for everybody. I gotta get my car fixed. I'm having a lot of, the end of the year is kind of stressful, but it hasn't been too bad this year. I've got my credit is kind of in order. My credit. Oh, chat. I don't know if I ever told you this, but my credit went above 700 finally for the first time ever. I When I bought my smart car like 6 years ago, I had no credit. Like I was like 500, 580 or 480 or something. But I slowly paid off my car and got a house and got some credit cards, and I had no school debt. And I think it was a very nice achievement for me to finally break 700. I think I've been working on it for a while. It's a good thing to do. Yeah, the jazz hands clip was one of my favorites. Another clip that Justin added in there that was hilarious that I was dying laughing was when Ed was painting with the house brush, and he says something about, oh, go over this one time or whatever, and then he goes, oh, that still looks like ass. When he says that still looks like ass. I was dying. I like died when he said that. It was hilarious. That still looks like ass. And then he put in that random clip of him shooting the trebuchet. It's classic. There was quite a bit of clips, and then it made me think of the early days of Reaper Live. It was pretty funny back then. It's not as funny anymore, Kappa, but back then it was pretty funny. But they would also waste all day filming those things, and so that's why he would get frustrated a lot because he doesn't have 3 hours on a Wednesday afternoon to sit in there and make the Reaper Live episode. Back when they used to pre-tape them. So I think them going live, you just kind of have to roll with the punches a little bit, and things are gonna mess up here and there. Classic Ed. Yep, he was trolling around. He's having a good time. Yeah, I was trying to talk last night. It was just really hard to talk last night with, when Dave loses it, I kind of lose it. Um, so that I was having issues when I would hear Dave starting to choke up. That was pretty hard for me. you know, because they were really close brothers. They were a really close family. Um, Ed is being buried next to his mom. I found that out a couple of days ago. I didn't know that. So the cemetery and the church that we're going to is where their mom is buried. So he's going to be buried right next to his mom, which is very nice. I didn't hear them talk about their mom very much, so I don't know much about her, but I know that she was a big part of their lives. So your sister, is she younger sister or an older sister? Corporia. I have a half sister and a half brother. I don't have any full siblings, and we're all 8 years apart. So my sister is 16 years older than me, and my half brother is 8 years older than me. So they were around when I was growing up, but not really. Especially my sister, because she was 16 years older, so she got a life way before I like kind of like grew up. So I don't yeah, I never had like siblings. She's a younger sister. Okay. Thank you, darling creep show. Yeah, a lot of people were sending condolences and stuff, and I knew that Reaper was kind of a you know I knew Reaper was like a big company, not big, but kind of in the industry of miniatures. They've been around for a long time, and they kind of helped shape everything. And I kind of lost sight of that a little bit because when I started here, I didn't really know much about the industry 12 years ago, and I was just a caster. I was just like clock in, clock out, and I was a caster making metal models and put my head down. I was just working really hard, just doing my job. I was just happy to have a job, you know. Um, and then you guys know, in the past couple of years, I started getting up in the company with giving tours and becoming a master mold maker and handling social media a little bit and taking on a little bit more responsibility and being included in decision making and in meetings and things like that. And I kind of lost. I didn't really understand that Ed knew a lot of people. He knew a lot of people in the industry, a lot of distributors and other stores and other miniature companies, and he helped them out and gave pointers and advice and shared tips and tricks of the miniature world with everybody. And we call him the politician. He was really good at talking and bullshitting and talking to people. He's really good at that. That was one of his traits. He was a really good talker. He knew how to talk to people. Shaking hands and kissing babies, as it were. Yeah, you cried when you read Victoria's post. Yeah, so did I. Um, there was a lot of posts in there, especially people that knew Ed for a long time. Watching everybody's videos, like the first stream where Anne came back, or when she was on that first Monday. I know she cried a lot, and I listened to it, and I was listening to the artists last night on Crow's Nest, talking about their first memories and their memories and stuff of Ed. That was really sweet. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be it's gonna be a day. So thanks, darling. Yeah, that's why they chose me to do the tours. I think is because I think I'm pretty good at talking and stalling and talking. I guess entertaining. I don't know if that's the word. I've always been kind of entertainer, so I'm happy. That's why Justin uses me a lot for the stream stuff, because I understand streams and I watch Twitch all the time. I don't watch TV. I just I guess I understand what streaming is and how it is. There's a lot of content ideas that I would like to do and do more of it, but you know, I was really pushing for a lot of stuff at the beginning, but with making molds and casting now again and giving tours and all that stuff, there's just not a lot of time to do stuff. That's why I feel bad because this. If you guys haven't noticed, I mean, of course you noticed, and I feel sorry for this, but this quarter for the Reaper Challenge League, there was no pop-ups, and partially it's because I kind of forgot before the quarter to come up with them or come up with them, and then I was just so busy around here, and it was like a couple of weeks or a week and a half later, I was like, man, I really need to do those pop-ups, but I think it might be too late now. So I just made the decision that we're not going to do pop-ups this quarter. I know that sucks, but because before I was doing mold making, I was just kind of doing social media full time. So that's why you guys saw me around a lot more in the Discord and on the Facebook and things like that. I was just around a lot more because I was able to monitor it and look at it a lot more. But now it's just very difficult with how much molds I got to make, and I got to go cast priority for metal and things like that. It's just, a lot more other responsibilities that I have to do that I can't do some of that stuff right away or how I want it. Or I don't want to also get burnt out where I'm working all day here for 8 hours, and then when I get home, I'm sitting on my computer and I'm like, also answering emails and doing all that stuff. So I didn't want to get burnt out and build up resentment and things like that. So I'm just trying to find a good work-life balance in that aspect. Thanks, darling, for that. Anne did a good job on her stream. Yeah, Anne's really good with her words as well. She knows how to talk. She's a good talker. And she's also a smart lady. She's been around for a long time. She's an excellent painter. I respect Anne a lot. Hopefully she can come to ReaperCon this year. I know she couldn't make it this year because she just bought a new puppy and all that stuff. So hopefully Anne can make it out next year. I think I still got to do a bunch of stuff for ReaperCon for next year since we're swapping over to another service for ReaperCon. Still got to work on that. I need to get a lot of that stuff done by the end of the year. So that's going to take quite a bit of time and organization. Also, darling, since you're a bartender, that explains your stream schedule. Yeah, your stream schedule is a little. It's different than all the other streamers, like all the other art streamers, which is a good thing in my opinion because you need to find when there's other art streamers that not you got to kind of find the market where the eyeball attention market. That's why you see some people. That's why we do our Thursday night stream at certain times because it's right after work. First of all, also we know that Critical rolls on at 9 our time, so can't really do much before that. So you just kind of, and there's not many art streams at that night. I guess there's Lord Gazumba is on that late and stuff like that, but there's not very many at those certain times. I think Miniac's also started changing up his streaming stuff because he's been doing some weird timing streams as well recently that I've noticed. When I'm at home, sometimes I see him on late at night, doing Blood Bowl streams and board game streams. So he's been streaming a lot more. I know he streams on Thursdays sometimes, or no, Fridays. I don't know if he's on right now. I don't see him on. He's not on. Art and Mike Disney's on. I know Mike Disney used to stream a lot in the morning. He's been on at weird times recently too. Miniac moved to Tuesdays. Nice. Works really well for you. Nice. You're a vampire, of course. I believe that. She's been around for a long time. Are you talking about Anne? Yeah. Yes. and you know, she's been around for a long time. She's a smart lady. You know, I've been around for not too long now, but I'm very proud of myself that I've been here for 12 years. So I take a lot of pride in it. That's why I like giving tours and I like hanging out in the game store and things like that. I like all the locals. I like seeing all the locals that come by. I love it when we have parties here for like Kickstarter and things like that, and I see everybody that comes down, and especially ReaperCon. ReaperCon is always a blast. I had a blast giving tours this year. Hey, is anybody in chat that took a tour this year from me at ReaperCon? This year was a blast. I was on it. This year I was on it. I was funny. I think I managed the tour really like the timing of the tours were really nice this year because I changed some of the tour routes and optimized it so I wasn't stressed. Dude, it was awesome. Cranky Dog, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Ant's 20th anniversary is coming up in April. Mike's been on in the afternoons. Jedi Jared, I loved you on the tour. Jedi Jared was my point guy in the back of the tour. He made sure that everybody was following us on the tour. I love Jedi. Ever since Jedi Jared painted my dwarf miniature for ReaperCon Online, you know, we're basically best friends. So Jedi Jared's my homie. We'll always have that dwarven bond. We're dwarf brothers. You know what I mean? You know, I shared some whiskey with Graz Yeti at ReaperCon. That was very good and very nice. Some mead. Thank you, Graz. You know who I missed that's not in chat? Dr. Bob. I was working in the game store covering from somebody on Saturday, a couple of Saturdays ago, and Dr. Bob came into the store. So that was really nice to see him. He wasn't wearing his hat. He wasn't wearing his hat either. That was weird. It's the first time I've really seen Dr. Bob without wearing his hat at ReaperCon. It shocked me. You're working on Dwarf Commission? So he was just Bob? Yeah, he wasn't the doctor. He was just Bob. I don't know if he had his kids or his nieces and nephews or his... I don't know. There were some kids with him. I don't know if... Does Dr. Bob have children? I don't know. I didn't want to, you know... I don't want to get in parasocial in their personal lives, but it was nice. I like seeing him outside of ReaperCon and stuff. Not sure you recognize him without the hat? Yeah. Dr. Bob's a nice guy, man. He's such a cool guy. Don't clip that and send it to him, but he's a cool guy. As the children say, I fucks with Dr. Bob. Let's see. Jedi Jared Bessies. It was a good time yeah, you had a good time. It was nice to get a shout out. Yeah, of course, Dr. Bob. Hey, Coffrey, how's the family doing? How's Mac and Chi and everything? Did they just get out of school break? I'm assuming, because I think the schools near us. I think just got back from break. I think, but they obviously might be going on break again soon for old Christmas time. She's over there pretending to do homework. Can she hear me? Good luck, Mac. Mac, what do you want to be when you get older, Mac? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to go to school for? Or what do you want to, like, What profession are you aiming for? I had no idea that I would be making like miniatures and stuff. I had no prospects because all I did with in my high school life was do color guard. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna teach color guard for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna do color guard and perform color guard as long as I can. And then I finally retired in 2016, and I did teach until about 2018, 2019. I did, but I was teaching the whole time I was performing. So I was teaching, but I was also doing Reaper at the same time, and that was really hard to do both of those jobs. She said computer programming or meteorology. Meteorology. Interesting. I You want to know my personal take? I think that in this day and age, computer programming is a very safe option. It's a very thing that, it's always updating. You'll always be learning. There will always be advancing and progressing in that. So that there will always be a good kind of opportunity there. In my opinion, I think it's a good, like, always needed and always progressing field. That's kind of what Justin is in. Kind of, he's in cybersecurity. That's what his schooling is going to be, and when he graduates, I think that's a very safe option. But meteorology sounds heckin' fun. You know what I mean? You just do what you want to do. She's not really doing her homework, so she's not pretending. She's just not doing it. Hey, it's probably not due until Monday, so she has all weekend, right? Now it's a lot quieter in here. Coffee. What do you and Beard do for work? Are you barista? I'm just kidding. Coffee. I'm almost done. Almost done with this bad boy. And then, what time is it? Oh, it's 4:30. So we'll probably go until 5. I kind of want to maybe open a mold for you guys since I'm almost done with this one. Opportunity for options. I'm a lazy bum. Beard is a physicist. Physicist. Wow. He must be a smart man, right? I mean, obviously. Physicist. That's awesome. I don't know very many physicists. I know one rocket scientist. That's pretty cool. He can't talk about his job very much because it's you know NDA corporate shenanigans, but or government NDAs and whatnot. But that's a cool job. Theoretical physics, Jedi. I could see that. You strike me as you look like a number crunching smart guy. Very handsome. I can say that about my bestie, so you know. Yeah, it's always kind of hard to explain to people what I do. Like when I'm out in the like if I'm getting my hair cut or getting my beard trimmed or whatever, and they're like, "What do you? So what do you do?" It's kind of hard to explain it a little bit. So you just kind of have to kind of be a little bit more generic. And kind of fluff it up a little bit. It's always interesting to hear about what people do outside of painting, like outside the hobby. You know what I mean? It's interesting. I never really pressured it before. I noticed that Moonlight Minis didn't stream today. Don't they normally stream on Fridays at 3? Or they like end the stream at 3 and they kind of rate us sometimes? Or did they change their days? I've been watching them throughout the week, so I just don't know what their actual news like if they change their schedule. Uh, you think she's been switching up the schedule lately? Yeah. Yeah, they normally stream today. Are they on? No, I don't see them on. Do, 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 do. Whee. Oh, did y'all hear that? I don't know if y'all heard that. Popping my neck. I pop my neck a lot. I need to go to the chiropractor. You know why? Because you guys have been seeing me for the past hour and a half. This is kind of my sitting position. Is this little kind of like I'm like this, like hunched over, like messing with the mold and kind of looking at all the angles and whatnot. This is my sitting position all day. You adore Christy? Well, if you come to ReaperCon, you'll meet her. I love Christy. She's a great sculptor. I like hanging out with her and Kyle at ReaperCon. They always get drunk and hang out at the bar at night. Dude, the games we played this year at ReaperCon after hours were awesome. I don't know if Trash is here, but we played that game called Just One. I bought it and we played it for remember David? We played it for Thanksgiving. That game that we played for Thanksgiving called Just One.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
game
not
was
how you spell the game.
yeah, that game is fun. That's a good party game, like a good like hanging out with your friends game. We played it at ReaperCon. And then another highlight of this past ReaperCon was we played Crocono, that Canadian game. If you have any Canadians in chat, uh, that game was fun. I asked for one for Christmas, so I might get one for Christmas. So we shall see. Let's see. I'm catching up in chat. That's my posture at work too. Yeah, I hate it. I have to like crack my neck and stuff all the time. You can get drunk at ReaperCon? Well, a lot of people like after hours once the main hall kind of closes and all the classes start to finish up and everybody just kind of hangs out in the main hall or in the lobby area and there's happy hour drinks from 5 to 7, 6 to 7. So a lot of people just kind of hang out and play games and a lot of people play board games, me included. I like playing board games after hours. Um, and then yeah, it's basically just a lot of hanging out. Like Garage Yeti in chat had a bunch of mead and whiskey, and a lot of people are just painting, like Bob and everybody, his little group at his table. They were all painting and just hanging out. That's the best part of ReaperCon, in my opinion. That's my favorite part. Is the 5 o'clock onwards is like when all the people just hang out and just have fun. Like I would go to all the way to a convention. I would just travel all the way across the country, stay there for a couple times just to hang out with people like that. That's fun. I don't need to take classes and stuff. Even though it's perfectly fine, especially if that's what you're there to do. It all depends on what you want to do. It's a good time. It's like a big family reunion. You know what I mean? Until the popo kicked it out. Yep. Hey, at least I didn't have to do it this year. I did kick people out one night, but yeah, they were on top of it this year about kicking everybody out on at a certain time. In the previous years, they weren't really. I had to go tell them like, "Hey, can we lock the doors? I'm kicking everybody out." But this year they did it themselves. So I wonder if it was because of the new management or something for the hotel. But it just means a lot more people hung out in the lobby area. I would love to attempt the gummy bear painting. Yeah, that was fun. I think that was Saturday night. No, was it Saturday night? I think it was. I think it was Saturday night. The gummy bear painting competition. Dude, the one that was shaped like a mermaid. That one was sick. The mermaid gummy bear. I think that was Derek Schubert's. I think. Dude, it was insane. Gummy bear paint contest. Yeah, gummy bear painting. There was a lot of participants this year too. I kind of want to make it more of an official event next year because it's always been kind of like a community thing with the waffles and all that stuff. And so this year, Aaron Lovejoy and his group, they're the ones that kind of headed it up. But I'm afraid that if you make it like an official thing, then it kind of loses some of its speciality or its specialness, I guess. I'm not sure. So maybe I'm very hesitant to like touch things like that because they're kind of organic and they kind of started themselves, and I don't want it to make it like an official thing and then it gets swarmed by a bunch of people. And so we could just like talk about it and make it like a word of mouth thing and kind of still keep it kind of small. I don't know. Yeah, it was a gummy bear and a worm. Yeah, a gummy worm and a bear to make like a mermaid. It was sick. That man, one of the most talented. Justin's always gets mad. He's like, he's good looking. He's very talented. He can sing. He can sculpt. He can write. He can act. He's just uh like a polyhedra threat. He's like a D20 threat. He can do everything. He biked across the country. The man's just crazy. I'm almost done, and then we'll cut a mold if you guys want to see me cut a mold, and then we'll see what happens from there. This is gonna be kind of a longer stream today, just because I want to. Let's see if I can grab this. There we go. The modern Renaissance. He's a polymath Renaissance man. Yeah, he's insane. Okay, let's double check everything. We should be almost finished with this one. I'm just gonna double check it. Kind of pack everything down. There's one other thing that I want to do before I cut this. 1 second. I gotta start the heater here. I might not cut the mold on stream today since we're running a little late. Just want to finish this up and then send it off over into the weekend. You know what I mean? So this I'm kind of like packing down because, excuse me, I burped. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Uh, since this silicone is really squishy, so when I go to press this, it's gonna kind of bounce and move a little bit. It's gonna squish together. So I'm packing it down so it's kind of more tight and compact, so it doesn't move as much. And it helps create like a solid line all the way around the model here. Does anybody have any exciting plans this weekend? I know next weekend we're doing a friends miss on Saturday with all of our friends, and then I'm gonna go watch The Way of Water on Sunday. There is a new revolving sushi place near our home, near our house that just opened up. Me and Sarah have been wanting to go to that a lot recently, so I love revolving sushi places. One of my favorite places to eat. So we'll be going there on a little date. I'm playing a game in Lord Gazumba's channel tomorrow with Mike and some rad people. Tell Mike I said what's up and say 2 tons of fun. Ask him about 2 tons of fun if he hasn't talked about it. Go ahead and ask him about it. It's a ReaperCon thing. So he missed it this year because he didn't come to ReaperCon. Sad, but it's okay. There's always the future. You know what I mean? 2 tons of fun. He was in the inaugural 2 tons of fun game. Shout out to Mike. Low Cano 2. No, this is not a master mold. This is a production mold. The master molds for this particular model have been made many years ago. But this is a remake of a production mold of it failing, and so I'm building it again as a new mold. And welcome. This is your first time here. Long time watcher, first time typer, or both, first time watcher and typer? Because your name I don't recognize. Low Cano 2. Pass through every once in a while. Nice. Welcome. We're almost done here. I'm about to finish this up, put it in the vulcanizer to cook, and then I'll let that cook for a couple of hours. I'll be gone, go on my way home, but I'll open it on Monday. But right now I'm just putting on some finishing touches before putting it in the vulcanizer. Just kind of covering all my bases here, double checking everything. Because I would hate to spend all this time building this and then it fails like on the first press. That's the worst feeling in the world. Because you're like, oh man, I missed that, or I didn't do that correctly. You just wasted all that time. Did you get all your Christmas gnomes decor out, John? I did. I did. We put up our Christmas tree. We got the inflatable gnome in the yard. We have a bunch of Christmas ornaments, gnome Christmas ornaments. We got some new like mats for the kitchen. I've noticed recently that gnomes they got more expensive over the past couple of years. Like I wanted this nice kind of wooden or faux plastic gnome that was about yay big, and it just was too expensive. It's like $55 at home, and man, I was like, I don't know, about that. But I did notice in the past couple of years the gnomes they've gotten kind of pricey. At least those types of gnomes. So it makes me kind of think twice, especially like when I'm not doing well financially. Like, it's like, hey, a mortgage is coming out soon, or we got some bills to pay. Then it kind of makes me think twice. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't buy this gnome at this moment. But I still have, quite a bit of gnomes. Still got quite a bit. Uh, so yeah, it's just good times. This is just nice, cozy work times. I want to do a lot more of these. I really like streaming from work, especially like, gosh, I've talked about this quite a bit in the new factory. It would be really nice to have cameras set up and microphones kind of everywhere, or something, or certain microphones somewhere. That way we could stream like all day, and then you guys can just spin channel points to change the cameras. So like, oh, I wanna see what's going on in casting, or I wanna go see what's going on in mold making or paint. You can kind of swap the cameras over there and then say hi, and there would be like a big monitor with chat. So there would be like chat monitors all over the factory. So that way, no matter what, where it was, where it was, you could type and people could see it. That'd be cool. Kind of like build the factory for streaming. I know that's kind of like a little pipe dream, but that sounds pretty cool. where it'll be like a zoo, you know. Make my miniature monkey, like dance monkey, you know. You could like spin channel points to play music or make certain sounds play or something. That'd be cool. Or text to speech. Text to speech would be hilarious. I think text to speech would be hilarious. Dude, I would have a blast. Hi, maybe. We're finishing up this mold, so I was working on this lizard mold or this monitor lizard mold here at the end of the day. Something I wanted to get done before going home, and so I've been working on this for the past hour and a half. Finishing it up right now. I'm just kind of going through and doing some touch up stuff that on things that I think aren't as good because these things need to be kind of identical and even across. I kind of need to build them all the same way, so they're generally even because it'll affect how the mold runs and works and balances itself out and yada yada yada. Okay, I think we're ready for. Hey David, do you have that little wrench that pulls these out?
One second, it's over here somewhere.
Wee.
It better be, unless someone.
Uh.
Oh no, that's right. I used it over.
Oh,
on
is it in the
the
toolbox?
Yeah, I used it over on the other machine, or on the machines to pull out one of the filters. It should up top there, or I see it. It's over.
Okay. I know you guys can't see me, but you guys should be able to hear me. Let me know if you guys can still hear me, because my headset has a microphone on it. So.
By the way, you can also pull the ones out of this. Every single pocket's dead.
Oh yeah, I figured it was.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to make it.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Gracias.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
I absolutely reached in front of the camera, but I thought I didn't.
No, you're fine. It doesn't bother me. It's really quiet in here now. I mean, I have noise canceling headphones on, but I don't hear anything. You know, that now that the machines are off and people went home. Yes, we hear you. Cool, nice. I like that I can walk around and you guys can still hear me. Because if I need to get up and go do something. Okay. Can hear. All right. Star Wars Hawaiian shirt? Yeah, he's over there. Let's see if I can. It might be too much. Yeah, so right now I'm just going to be putting in little lock nuts. And this allows us to, when the two halves of the molds are pressed, to keep them together. It's these little uh, little things that kind of hold the two molds together. Put them in all these little crevices, these little gaps here. Up close and personal with John Overton. These always hurt my thumb because you gotta kind of press really hard to get them to go down in there. Now the downside of having a beard is that I have to pull out beard hair sometimes out of the molds, like this one. And I like to kind of, there we go. So I have to pull my beard hairs out sometimes because if I don't, they get trapped in there when they cook. It's just a downside, you know. Are they soft metal? Yeah, these are pewter, you know, soft white metal pewter models. Just the same thing that we would use uh, in our normal casting. but these are masters. Just double check my beard hairs. Okay, I don't see any. I don't see any in there. Just double checking. Very meticulous. And then now we do this. And my little mark that I leave is I use this little socket wrench here. This nice little socket wrench. And this is just something that I do. Every single mold I do this. To like leave a little mark in there. So that way I made the mold, so that's the way I know. So like if a mold messes up in the future, I can see I made it, so that way I know like what I can do next time or what I did this time to kind of help solve the issue of what went wrong. So now I'm adding these little acorn nuts in here for stability. I'm going to add a few more, I think, right here. And two more. One right here, one right here. This is where your like OCD comes in, and you have to like make things even. Okay. Use pliers on the soft pieces that work, and then use the pliers on top of the bolt, whatever, and use the pliers in my finger push things too. Yeah, so like what I'm about to do here with these acorn nuts is I use this to kind of push them down in there a little bit so they catch. So this way, nothing goes wrong. So I just press these down in here. There we go. And then now we'll go over there. Ooh, ah. The machine's not on, so you're gonna see a lot of talc powder in the air probably. The machine's not on currently. Gotta make sure I get enough. Use the brush to kind of get it in all the cracks and crevasses. Like your noble steed. And then we blow it out. Wow. It's heavy. Now I have to go wash my hands. Oh yeah, pick up some Christmas minis. That's right. I gotta go wash my hands. Whee! Look at that smooth camera. Oh, very nice. Into the dark. This is where I would normally go to the bathroom, but since I'm on stream, I will not do that. Especially with the microphone and the headset, you guys would be able to hear. So I have to wash my hands because this next part is important. So I have to wash my hands to get all the talc powder off of my hands that I just used to build the top half of the mold, which is only going to take me not that long. Wee. You guys want to see who? Let's see who's at the game store. Oh wow, it's kind of foggy out here. It's kind of getting gray. But yeah, There's the game store. Whee. There's David. Uh, uh, let's see here. Mm. All right. How do I want to do this? So I'm going to take a little chunk of silicone and start building the top pieces of all of this. Oh, it's pitch black there already? It's already night there? Uh, what'd you say? Mayabi? 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 It says this is a really, really cool stream. Does this happen regularly? This is my first time streaming mold making, but we do ReaperLand every Friday, where we like to show off people's paint jobs and just kind of hang out and talk and see what's going on with everybody. So I'm gonna do something a little bit weird here, and I'm gonna do some blue. So I'm gonna do some blue right here to kind of get that in there. And I'm gonna do that to all these around the edge here. Time zones and shorter winters. Yeah, I don't like it getting dark at this time of year. Because I don't know. It just feels weird when I'm driving home and it's dark already. When I get home, it's like it feels like the day's over. But I have been taking my dog on walks recently when I get home, like around the neighborhood, and she really enjoys that. It also helps her claws. It keeps her claws kind of dulled down and not as they don't grow as fast, and kind of help keeps them filed when she's walking on the concrete, etc. We do have like a nice big backyard, and she likes going back there. And I kick the ball around and we play soccer and stuff. But I've been taking her for walks recently. Plus, it kind of helps me get out and move around a little bit. Uh, so let's see what happens here. Yeah, we'll do this. Two more weeks and the days get longer. Nice. I'm so glad it's happening soon. I really don't, like I said, I don't like it when this part of the time. Yeah, longer days is where it's at for me. Gosh, man, I've been hankering to go skiing recently. I really want to do like a big ski trip. I love seeing in the place. Yeah, I do some streams where I walk around the factory as well, talk to people and hang out. So I do those types of streams as well. Those are some of my favorite. Is when we walk around and look at what's going on around the building, see what everybody's up to. Plus, you get some kind of like behind the scenes kind of sneak peeks because that's what I like to do. Yeah, this is the first time streaming mold making though. In general, it's not really like streaming it. It's just more of like I'm doing it and you're kind of watching from afar and I'm talking about it a little bit because there's some things that I really can't talk about, but like my secret techniques and all that stuff. Secrets. Wait, Coffee says it's getting dark by the time the kids. You have multiple? I guess I've only ever seen Mac. Or is she the only one that's interested in miniatures and stuff? I'm assuming that's why. Where does the other ones? Where does your other kids stay during ReaperCon? All right, I think that's it. All right, let's press this bad boy. So, gotta put the other half on. Oh, doggo, and the doggo. I see. I see, I see. So it's just cheese. Hey, coffee. Chi. When is the report card? Do they still do report cards? God, that makes me sound so old. When are your grades come out for the semester? Because I'm assuming this is right before the first semester ends. I'll make you a deal if your grades are good. How about that? How's that sound? I guess let me know when grades are due. If Chi gets good grades, I'll give the whole coffee household some Reaper credit. If Chi has good grades, how does that sound? So now it's all on you, Chi. The fate of your family's miniature career is in your hands. Okay, I mean, I will live up to my bargain if your grades are good. What are we considering good though? Like B's and up? What what are we considering good? Maybe I'll leave that up to. Actually, I shouldn't leave that up to coffee. Uh, I guess we'll figure out what's good. What are good grades? I guess no failing. That's I don't know. Okay, so we have the tops on here. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, I've come to bargain. All right, we've got to put this on here so it doesn't stick. Really annoying. Okay, it's just or a screenshot. It's whatever. I don't want any I don't want any details on there. Like addresses or full names or anything like that. You guys can omit or cut any of that out. Still want to keep it safe. Well, hold on, I gotta put this somewhere right here. Well, hold on. Let me switch sides with you guys. Hmm, kind of hard to put you somewhere. Let's see. She's stoked now. Nice. Well, that was my goal. You know, anything to help with good grades. We need a computer science or what was it? Oh gosh, she told me earlier. Computer. It wasn't computer science. It was programming. I can't remember. But anything to help with that. You went away for an hour? Yeah, yeah. This is what I do most of the day. Just make molds all day. Ooh. I have the panda suit still. It's right here. You guys remember me wearing the panda suit during ReaperCon? The bone pandas. Ah. All right. Now that'll cook. That'll cook for a little while. New printer? What kind of printer did you get? Meteorology, that's right. That was one of them. What did Gross say? Make it scaling. 70% equals an amount. Every point above that increases it. Yeah, I can see that. Can I ask Cecilia, what was your favorite mini that Reaper makes? Um, Almaran the Gold is a really nice model. Um, I really like Almaran. I've come around to one of the Necromancers. Let me see. The one with the shovel. Shovel. The one with the shovel. The number is 3784. This one with the shovel. That's the metal version. The Bones Black version's not in stock. I really like that one. She's kind of like a warlock necromancer. And then what's another model that I really like? Almaran's really nice. He's the paladin with the fire sword. What's the witch with the antlers on her staff, like the skull with the Thistlemore? Thistlemore? Nope, that's not it. Anduin? Anduin? Nope, I can't remember her name. Iconic? Nope, that's not it. ReaperCon. Let's look at that. I think she's in the ReaperCon section. She was a couple of years ago. There she is. Thrushmore. Anduin Thrushmore. Hey, I was close. 3786. Anduin Thrushmore. Um, Also 3973 is really nice. The Bone Priestess. I really like. I'm a sucker for antlers and things like that. So, like this one, I really like her. Can you see it? Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, I can't really see this one. Her name is Kamaria Esh, Bonehedge Priestess. I really love priestesses and shamans and things like that, like bone helmets and like antlers and druidic type stuff is what I really like. Both, Cranky Dog. I like them both. Yeah. Oh, Baron Blacktree. Yeah, Valandar. That's a really good one. Mm, Baron Blacktree. Yeah, he's really good. Do you expect to run more super washes? I would have to ask the paint department. I don't know exactly what the plan is for those, since I've been, I'm over here and they're in the main factory, and I barely communicate. I don't really have to talk to them, so I don't know. I haven't heard anything, so I don't know. I've never painted a metal mini. Is it very different from plastic resin? It's not too different. You do have to prime it though. Like you have to prime it. So wash it just like you would do every other miniature. Scrub it, and you're off to the races. After priming it, of course. I guess you would have to get used to the weight if you're used to painting plastic or resin. Yeah, priming is way important for metal. Way, way, way important. It's not going to catch the metal without it. All right, chat. I think that's it for me. We streamed for 2 hours. I like streaming longer, but I was also making a mold, so you know I could talk and do the mold at the same time. Who is streaming right now? We have Mike Disney. We have Play in the Mud. We have Jacob Jansen. Hey, darling. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for staying the whole time. Thanks for hanging out with me. Corporea, always a lovely time to see you. Can't see you at ReaperCon, or can't wait to see you at ReaperCon. You guys are welcome. Um, Thanks, Green Users. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's fun. I like streaming stuff at work. it kind of helps things go by. Because normally I would just be listening to true crime or what the news, like gaming news. Like I know there was a bunch of game trailers that came out yesterday, so I'd probably listen to people talk about that. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I think we're gonna raid Jacob Jansen just because I haven't seen him in a while. Um, Jacob Jansen Studios. Is that right? Oh, I think it's just Studio. Let me pull it up. Ba, ba, ba. We're gonna be raiding. Oh, it is an S. I think I just spelled something wrong. I got it. Slash raid. The raid has been created. There we go. We'll go hang out with Jacob. Horror Babble. I think my girlfriend was listening to that. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week. Go tell Jacob I said what's up. It was fun seeing him at ReaperCon. I love Jacob and his wife. They're really lovely, lovely, lovely people. His wife is so nice. Um, so yeah. Bye everybody. I'll see you soon. Hey, if anybody's coming tomorrow, I'll give you a hug if you ask. So, you know. Bye everybody. Ta-da! We waited. I gotta turn my headphones off. Restream, Puggers.